Hello everyone, welcome back to Barre. My name is Cait. If you've never done Barre before, it is a total body lengthening and strengthening workout. So we're gonna do a lot of pulsing, we're gonna do a lot of holds, working all of your muscle groups as well as some of those little sister smaller muscle groups. We are gonna start out with legs, we'll move on to some arms and then finish up with abs. So feel free to stretch afterwards and we will get started. So we're gonna start off with a little bit of a warm up. We're just gonna start circling out those hips, bringing that knee up, kind of like you're stepping over a fence. Do a couple forward and then a couple backwards as well, and then switch, couple backwards, circling out those hips, and then a couple forward. From here, we're gonna walk those feet about a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. We're gonna be squatting down, sending those hips back, driving them back up. So I'll do a little side view. So instead of a sumo squat that everything stays in line, we're really sinking those hips back, squeezing back up. Your weight should be in your heels for these. Your shoulders are rolling back. You're pulling that core in. Keep it up, driving that pace a little bit, getting those muscles warmed up, getting that heart rate up just a little bit. Power down, squeeze back up. That belly button's pulling towards your spine. Keep going. Sinking low, sending those hips right back up. 4, 3, 2, and 1. From here, we're sinking low, pulsing here. This is a bar staple, just a couple inches up, couple inches down. Wiggle your toes. Your weight should be in your heels, so you should be able to move those toes. Sink those hips a little lower. Roll those shoulders back. Perfect. Keep it up. Sink a little bit lower. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back to that full range of motion. Springing right up, sinking low. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Sinking low again, this time taking out that pulse. We're gonna be reaching opposite ankle. Coming back up to center, really engage that core. So you're getting that twist in there. Keeping those hips right where they're at. So you're not standing back up, you're staying low, burning out those legs. Reach opposite hand to opposite ankle. Coming back to center. Get that twist in there. Work that core, work those legs. Keep it up. You're almost there. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back to that full range of motion. Driving those hips down, right back up. Squeeze those glutes at the bottom and the top. Hopefully you feel a little bit more warmed up. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Walking those legs in. We're gonna move down to the floor, warm up our upper body a little bit. Warm up that core just a little bit more and also those arms. So if you've been to my class before, you know I love bear pose. That's just kind of similar to a plank, where you're in a tabletop position. You're just popping those knees up off of the mat. So from here, we're gonna push into a bear pose. And here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna sink back onto our heels. We're gonna shoot forward and you're gonna bring opposite knee to opposite wrist. So it's kind of like a mountain climber. We're gonna call these bear climbers. This is where I'm bear pose and then moving forward, bringing that knee forward. So this whole time you wanna pull that core in. You wanna keep that spine nice and straight. We have 5 on each side. So pop those knees up. You might need to walk your hands forward just a little bit. You are on, sink those hips back. Bring that right knee forward and back. Switch alternating knees, that's 1. Knee to wrist and back. Switch, that's 2. Keep that spine straight. Alternating knees here, that's 3. You have 2 more, pull that core in. That's 4. 1 more on each side. That is 5 from here. Just stay in a bear pose. Keep those knees up, those hips stay down. So you're not way up here, you're just hovering those knees right over the floor. Those shoulders are gonna stay right over those wrists, so you're not sinking back, you're not pushing forward. Pull that core in, hold strong for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop it down, push it back to child's pose, stretch it out for just a second. Hopefully you are feeling warmed up. We're gonna move up and hit some legs. So you don't need anything for this workout. I have a chair here that I'm gonna be using for balance. You can use a wall, you can use any type of furniture, countertop, whatever you have. I also have a mat, but you do not need that. You can put a towel down, or you can just do it on your floor. So we're gonna start off with our left hand on the bar. So bar is all about posture, so we wanna be standing up really tall. We always wanna have our shoulders rolling back. Those hips are slightly tucked under, so we wanna keep that spine straight. Instead of having that like arch in our back, we wanna keep it all straight. We're gonna start off working those inner thighs. So feel free to either have your hand on your hip. If you want an extra little arm workout, you can have that arm out to the side. So we're gonna start with that left foot, or that left leg as our supporting leg. We're gonna be working with that right leg. So we're gonna do some lifts over to the side. We're gonna cross over towards the left side. So you're crossing across that supporting leg, slowly lifting up to the side, crossing back over. That knee is gonna keep pointing forward. So that leg is turned in instead of turning it out with that knee up. You're gonna have that knee pointing forward, really crossing over to the left, lifting up to the right. So again, we wanna always be engaging that core. So think about pulling that belly button back to your spine, standing up tall. We don't wanna be leaning over to whatever we're balancing with. If you wanted to add a core work to this, you can take that hand off the wall or whatever you're using, really work that balance. It's gonna engage that core a little bit more. Keep it up, lifting that leg, squeezing at the top, crossing it over. As you bring that leg down, we're not just letting it flop down with gravity. You're really squeezing those inner thighs together as you cross that leg over and then lifting it back up. Couple more here. 4, 3, 2, and 1. From here, we're pulsing that leg up to the side. It doesn't matter how high you have that leg, as long as you're shooting energy out your heel. So we want to keep that leg straight. We're not keeping it in here, keeping it straight, even if it's down here, or if it's way up here, wherever you're at, engaging those muscles. Mine's dropping a little lower. Keep it up for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Sweeping that leg across, pulsing it over to the left. Pulse is just a couple inches up, couple inches down. We're really squeezing those inner thighs together. Beautiful. Again, we're flexing that foot, standing up tall for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bringing that leg back down. Shake it out a little bit. You should be feeling this in your supporting leg, also in those inner thighs. From here, we're gonna passe, still working with that right leg. So we're gonna bring those toes up to meet the inside of your knee. This is called a passe. Straightening out to the side, lowering it back down. So lift those toes to your knee, straighten out to the side, and lower. Beautiful. Really pointing those toes this time. Last time we were flexing that foot. Now we're gonna point those toes, bringing them back in. Lifting up, extending out, lengthening that leg. Again, bar is all about lengthening and strengthening your muscles. Pointing down, bring it back up. My hip right here is on fire. Hopefully you can feel this. Couple more. Last one, lift, extend, reach those toes, and lower. And shake out those hips. Beautiful. We're gonna flip and do all of this on the other side. So you can either turn, I'm just gonna move my chair onto this side. Perfect. So again, watching that posture, lifting that left leg this time up to the side, flex that foot, shooting energy through your heel, squeeze those thighs together, bring that foot over, that leg over to the right side this time, lifting it back up. This whole time, we want that upper body staying strong, that core is engaged, we're not wobbling, throwing that leg around, everything stays right in control. Lifting that leg up to the side, squeezing it back across that supporting leg. Again, it doesn't matter how high you're getting your leg as long as you're engaging those muscles. Again, barre, all about lengthening and strengthening. So you're reaching that leg as far away from you as possible, squeezing it back together. Beautiful. You should feel this on that outer thigh, those glutes, this hip, and those inner thighs. Keep it up. Use that core. Again, if you want some added arm work, you can have that arm out to the side. Added core work, you can bring both of those arms up off of whatever you're using to balance. Countertop, chair, furniture, whatever you have, a wall. Lifting and lowering, squeeze at the top, squeeze those legs back together, fighting gravity the whole time. Again, we're not letting that leg fall back down, slowly controlling it all the way down and across. Lift, squeeze, and lift. Beautiful. You know what's next. We have those pulses. In 4, 3, 2, 1. Lifting that leg up to the side. Make sure you're not leaning over towards that wall or that chair. So lifting here, staying in one straight line. Should be burning. I'm definitely feeling it right now. Lift that leg a little bit higher. Squeeze, couple inches up, couple inches down. You're almost there. My leg's dropping a little bit. In 4, 3, 2, and 1. Squeeze, bringing that right leg across your left, pulsing over to this side. Again, that foot is flexed, shooting energy down across your body. Couple inches up, couple inches down. Engage that core. Those shoulder blades should be back, squeezing together, shoulders away from your ears. Beautiful. Keep it up. You are almost there. Couple more. In 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it down. Shaking out those hips a little bit. I'm gonna move on to those passes. So bringing that left leg, bending at the knee, bring those toes right into the inside of your knee, straightening out to the side and down. So again, that kneecap is pointing up towards the ceiling, slowly lowering back, down, lift, extend, reach through those toes. Again, we're pointing those toes this time, squeezing it back in, slowly lowering back down. Again, we're fighting gravity here. Don't let that leg fall. Control it all the way down. My hips are on fire right now. Keep engaging those inner thighs as well. Lifting and lowering, getting that knee up high. Straightening, lengthening that leg. Squeeze as you bring it in. Keep it up. You are almost there. Last couple here. In 4, 3, 2, and 1. Finish whatever one you're on. Bring it down. Shake out those hips. You need a little bit of a stretch. Cross one ankle over your knee. Sit it back. Stretch out those legs. Stand it up and switch. Bringing that opposite ankle over knee, sitting it back. And bring it back up. So we've done those leg lifts to the side, working our thighs a little bit. We're gonna flip and we're gonna face either a wall or a chair, a piece of furniture, whatever you're using for balance. We're gonna do some leg lifts to the back to work our glutes a little bit. So from here, we're gonna start off using that left leg. So that right leg is gonna be your supporting leg. You're gonna have a slight bend in that knee. We don't wanna lock our knee. Slight bend here. As always, you're engaging that core, pulling that belly button back. Those shoulders stay down. So we're not hunching over, grabbing whatever we're using. We're staying lifted. Keep that chest lifted. Shoulders are down. So from here, we're gonna point back with those right toes, tapping them to the floor, lifting up to the back, tapping to the floor. So again, that leg is turned in. So my knee isn't pointing to the side. Everything stays in line. So that knee continues to point to the floor. As you lift, if you open those hips, it's easier to get that leg up, but we really want to keep those hips pointing towards the wall or the floor. Keep that bend in that right knee. I just noticed mine was locked. Squeeze as you lift the back, slowly lowering. Tap those toes, lifting right back up. So you're gonna squeeze at the top, holding for just a second, tapping back down. You should have a light hand grip on whatever you're using. If it's the wall, we're not pushing into the wall. You're not gripping that chair or that counter. Really light hand grip, that's gonna help you engage that core instead of relying on that object. Lifting and lowering here, you should start feeling this in that supporting leg, as well as those glutes. 4, 3, 2, and 1. From here, we're gonna lift that leg and pulse to the ceiling. Couple inches up, couple inches down. Point through those toes, lengthening through that leg. Think about if you're trying to touch the back wall or whatever's behind you with your toes. You're reaching back. Keep that hip forward. We're not opening out to the side. Lift a little bit higher. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Keep that leg up. From here, we're gonna flex that heel on the way up. So you're bringing that heel up towards those hips, pointing on the way back down, lengthening through. So you're flexing in, squeezing, and then pushing back out, lengthening that leg. Flex as you pull it in, point, extend back. How's that supporting leg feeling? Mine's shaking a little bit. Really squeeze that heel in, stretch those toes out. Slow and controlled here. Try and keep that knee up. We're not bringing it down here. Keeping it back. Light hand grip on that chair. Couple more in 4, 3, 2, 1. Wherever you're at, bring that heel in. Pulsing here, lift that heel to the ceiling. That supporting leg should be on fire. If it's not, lift that knee up a little bit higher. Keep those shoulders down, chest is lifted. Spine is straight, you're almost there. Get that knee up for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it down, stretch or shake out those legs a little bit. Stretch it out however you need to. Guess what? We have all that on the other side. So I'm going to flip my chair to that other side so you can see a little bit better. This second side is always super fun since we're already fatigued, but we can do it. So resetting here, we're stepping into that left leg this time. Slight bend in that knee. We don't want to lock it. Light hand grip on that chair. I kept catching myself like gripping it. Really make sure you're using that core to keep you up even as you fatigue. It's really easy to want to just hang on for dear life. Don't do that. Just slight hand grip on that wall, that chair, whatever you're using. We're going to start off with those leg lifts, lifting as you point those toes like you're trying to touch whatever's behind you. Lowering, tapping those toes just for a second, lifting right back up. Those hips stay in line. That knee is pointing towards the floor the whole time, so it's not out to the side. Everything is pointing downward. Engage that core, point those toes, lengthening that leg. Squeeze at the top, lower back down. Again, you're fighting gravity, so don't let that leg fall. Control it all the way down. You got it, couple more here. Again, it doesn't matter how high you're getting that leg as long as you're engaging those muscles. Extend through those toes. You know what's coming next. It's bar. We can't move on without a pulse. So you're pulsing in 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lifting that leg, couple inches up, couple inches down. Check that posture, pull that belly button in, roll those shoulders down. That hip stays forward, not opening it up to the side. You should be feeling that supporting leg already. Lift a little bit higher. 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep that leg up. Flex on the way in. Point, extend on the way out. Squeeze that heel in towards your glutes. Reach those toes back behind you. Keep that leg up. It's really easy to want to let it slide back down. Keep that knee up as you bring it in. That leg stays up as you extend. Keep it up. That left knee stays bent. Beautiful. You're almost there. You know, we have one more thing to do here. Keep it up. Reach those toes. Pull that heel in, squeezing those glutes. My supporting leg is shaking right now. We pulse in 4, 3, 2, and 1. Wherever you're at, bringing that heel in, lifting it to the ceiling. So you're pulsing that whole leg. You're not just pulsing that heel in. You're lifting that knee back towards the ceiling. Lifting that heel up, flex that foot. You're almost there. Lift that heel a little higher. You can do it. Lift that heel a little bit higher for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it down. Shake out those hips. Again, if you need a little stretch, you can cross one ankle over, sit it back. That is not easy. Grab a drink if you need, stretch out anything else you need to. Moving on to some arms. We're gonna be working those shoulders. So we're gonna have those arms up, those elbows are gonna stay, or those triceps are gonna stay parallel with the floor. Those elbows are gonna be right in line with your shoulders, goal posting them. We're gonna start off drawing those hands down like this, and then right back up. So alternating, lifting and lowering. Again, we want those shoulders away from our ears, so we're not pulling them up here and doing it like this. Those shoulders stay down, lifting and lowering. Those hands can be in fists. Keep those elbows right up there with those shoulders. As always, you're standing up tall, that spine is lengthened. Pull that core in. Keep it up. 4, 3, 2, and 1. From here, keeping those arms in a goal post, we're pulsing down. So really drop those shoulders, couple inches up, couple inches down, balancing those elbows. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Really flexing those arms. You're halfway there. In 4, 3, 2, 1, going back to that full range of motion. So dropping those fists back and then bringing them back up into that goal post. Next up, we're gonna pulse those hands down this time. It's gonna look a little bit different than pulsing up. In 4, 3, 2, and 1, dropping those fists down. From here, we're gonna kind of pulse those fists back. So instead of bouncing those elbows this time, you're pulsing those fists back. So kind of rotating those arms. You should be feeling it right here, really burning those shoulders, those upper biceps. Kind of an awkward move, but you should definitely be feeling it right now. Keep those elbows up, don't let them drop down. Rotating those arms backwards. This one's good. You're almost there. We're gonna go back to that full range of motion in just a little bit. Keep it up for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back to that full range of motion. Feels a little bit better. Lifting and lowering, rotating those arms. We're almost there. Those shoulders should be on fire right now. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop those arms down. Pull one across your body. Stretch it out. Oof. And switch. And circle one out to the side. Stretch it out. And switch directions. Perfect. Switching to that other arm, circle it out. And switch directions. Perfect. Stretch out anything else you need. We're going to move it down to the floor, or if you have a mat, we're moving it down to the mat. So we're going to be moving on to some tricep dips to work our arms a little bit more. So we're going to be sitting with our fingers pointing out towards our heels. You're going to lift those hips up. We're not just doing some hip taps. That's not a thing. We're going to be lowering those triceps, pushing back up. If this is hard on your wrists, you can flip those hands out to the side and do this. Lifting those hips up, dipping down, pushing back up. Just tap those hips down, lifting back up. Those elbows should be pointing right back behind you. They're not going out to the side. Feel free to have those hips on the floor. You can just push back, really digging into the heels of your hands. Keep those elbows pressing together. You'll work your triceps just the same doing this. Otherwise, taking those tricep dips, squeeze those shoulder blades together. That neck stays lengthened, so we're not coming down into our shoulders. We stay lifted. You can do it. Keep it up. Couple more. Maybe know what's coming next at this point. It's kind of a trend of a barre class. In 4, 3, 2, 1, pulsing down. We're not here for too long. Little tiny pulses, couple inches up, couple inches down. You're here for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop it down. Bring one arm across your body. Stretch out those triceps and switch. Then bring one hand back behind your head. Gently pull that elbow back, keeping your chin away from your chest. Release whenever you're ready, and then switch sides. Perfect. For our abs today, we're going to be starting off in a tabletop position. So you can bring those wrists right beneath your shoulders. Those knees are going to be right beneath your hips, right beneath your hips. From here, we're going to extend out. We're going to start with those right toes. So you're going to stretch those right toes back, bring them in, crunching them into your nose. From here, you're going to extend that opposite left arm, crunch it in, lift, really extend, really crunch that core. Keeping that spine straight, reaching through those fingers, reaching through those toes. As always, we're trying to lengthen those muscles. Just working with this side. Holding that core so you're not wobbling. Really trying to hold that balance. If you're struggling to keep that balance, you can pick a spot on the floor to focus on. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Going back to that tabletop position, resetting here. We're going to work with that left leg this time, pointing out back behind you, crunching it in. Extend with that right arm this time. Extending and then crunching, pulling everything back in. Work that core. Again, everything else stays super stable. You're just moving that opposite leg, opposite arm. Reach through those fingers, reach those toes. That belly button keeps pulling up towards your spine. Working on that balance for 4, 3, 2, and 1. From here, we're gonna sit back. Gonna extend those legs out in front of you, slowly rolling all the way back down onto your mat. I'm gonna go sideways. Perfect. From here, we're gonna be working with a bicycle crunch. So we're gonna start off bringing opposite elbow to opposite knee, extending back out. Option 2 is to just tap those toes, reaching opposite elbow to opposite knee, keeping those knees bent. Otherwise, you can send that leg out straight and then twist to the other side. So for this, we really always want to be keeping that spine straight. So you should be feeling your spine pressing into the floor the entire time. So we don't want our spine peeling up off the floor. Really pointing through those toes or tapping them onto the floor. Keep those shoulders up. You got it. Halfway there. Drive that pace a little bit faster. Challenge yourself here. 4, 3, 2, and 1. From here, we're gonna plant that right foot, extending that left leg up. So from here, we're gonna place that right hand back behind our neck. As we lower down, we're gonna straighten that leg down to the floor, lifting it back up, reach that elbow or that shoulder up towards that ankle, and then lower back down. So this is a single leg lift with a crunch at the top. You're really working those obliques because we're getting that twist in there. Lifting and lowering. That left arm can be out to the side. Beautiful, keep it up. As always, you can have that leg in a tabletop position instead at that 90-degree angle, tapping those toes, and then twist. Couple more on this side. 4, 3, 2, and 1. From here, we're gonna straighten that arm up, reach towards those toes in a pulse. So that right shoulder is up off the mat. We're keeping that chest lifted so we're not hunching over, but we're lifting up towards those toes. Pulsing up, 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 up for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bringing it back down. And then extending that opposite leg. So we're gonna extend that right leg. That right arm can come out to the side. Left arm is right behind your neck. Lifting that right leg up, crunching across your body, lowering it back down. Again, you can either just tap those toes or you can have that leg straight, lifting and lowering, getting to the top, crunching, lifting that shoulder up, lifting your chest up before lowering back down. You got it. Pull that belly button down towards the floor. Again, that spine should be straight. It should be pressing into your mat or pressing into the floor. Really getting that twist in there. Couple more here. You got it. Get that shoulder up. Control that leg down. Control it all the way back up. For 4, 3, you know what's coming next. In 2 and 1, we're pulsing up. Reach that left hand towards those right toes. Pulsing up, 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 reaching, lifting through that chest. Work those abs. You can also have that knee bent, reaching towards that ankle. You're almost there. Lift that shoulder up a little bit higher. You are so close. Couple more. In 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release back down. Bringing both knees into your chest. Gently rocking from side to side. Breathe it out for just a second. For our last move today, we're going to be holding a bear pose. So we talked about this a little bit in our warm-up, but we're going to come into a tabletop position. And all you're gonna do is just pop those knees up, hovering them right above the mat. We're gonna hold this for 45 seconds. Let me get our timer going here. So you're gonna hold this for 45 seconds. So you're keeping that spine lengthened and straight. We're not hunching over. Those shoulders are gonna stay right over your wrists. If you have sensitive wrists, you can do this on a hardwood floor. That's gonna give you a little bit more support than like a carpet would. You can also just come into a normal plank on your forearms if that works better for you. Either way, it's a full body kind of challenge at the end. So we're gonna start in 4 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Pop those knees up off the floor. You're keeping them low, so don't let them sink up. You're staying low, hovering them right above the floor. Pull that belly button in, lift out of your shoulders. So we're not like hunching down like this. You're staying lifted. You are so strong. This is your last challenge of this barre workout. Only about 30 more seconds of your day. Way less than that, actually. You are almost there. You have about 10 seconds left. Push yourself to the very end. You can do it. Don't quit now. You're done in 3, 2, 1. Drop down to those knees. Press it back to child's pose. Breathe it out. Walk those hands in. Feel free to do a little bit longer of a stretch. Make sure you relax all the muscles that we worked. Thank you so much for joining me for barre today. I hope you're doing all well and enjoying these workouts. Have a great rest of your day.